can never do it like I. When you see man pull up and slide, man stepped in a room with legends, Rio and Steve, you know it's a vibe. Check the podcast, what you wanna know? Don't ask me, go and ask Joe. If you're talking Premier League, he's on the front line and I gotta go. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. Vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know this.
Yo, it's your boy HP like the sauce, Harry Pinero, and I know you're not used to seeing this beautiful face on your screens, but today we thought we'd do it different. United's very own. If it not for the injuries, I would have been playing alongside this man here in centre back. Yes, it's Vibe with 5 with HP like the sauce. We did it different. Stephen have taken your job. To my right, we've got Joe Bayer.
Come on.
Arsenal fans some days, Man United fans at heart.
Allow it.
Yeah, of course. And we've got the one and only legendary, you know his name, you know the babe. It is Rio Ferdinand.
Oh,
yes.
Man.
I'm in the building.
This has been a long time coming, you know.
Proper.
Yes, it has been.
I go to games, I go to Old Trafford, and I just get a text out of the blue. I'm here.
By the way, can I just say, this guy made me feel super special. He made me feel super special. So at the game where we won against Man City, you know that game?
What game?
The 2-1.
What, the week before you lost to us, yeah? That game.
Anyway,
That game. I know the game.
I was with Avellino, and I see Rio, I see Jolien, and I see Paul, and I was like, I need to call Rio because Paul needs to see my face.
Yeah.
Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes, by the way. So obviously I've called Rio. He's walking across the line and he calls me. Goes, bruv, can't you see I'm working? Whatever you do, please just let Paul see my face. So as he's finished now, he's walked over and I can see him drawing for his phone, but he's seen me because I'm just like that.
Yeah.
He's tapped Paul and Paul's looked at me like I'm his son.
Is it?
He's gone. Bro, that moment, elite.
Yeah?
Is he your guy? Paul Scholes your guy?
That's my favourite ever.
Wow.
No way. Is it?
And when I was younger, I obviously never got to play like him ever. I never will.
Yeah.
But he just done things on the pitch that I don't think anyone could do, and he was the real meaning why we was ticking. So
and he was, I reckon he was like underrated until like the end of his career. When he come back with the eye injury or whatever, then people started realising what he had.
Do you know how cold he is? Yeah. I remember when Van Persie came to United. Yeah, that season where we won the league. Yeah. Oh, so
one of them moments again.
Yeah. One of them. Oh, he was there.
Yeah.
And I remember, that game, Paul Scholes came on, I think, at half-time, And when Van Persie got his interview after the game, he was basically saying what changed, and he goes, as soon as Paul Scholes came on the pitch, everything changed. And I think at the older age, he was still, there was no player there in the world or that could do what he could do at United. And for me, watching him as a kid, he hasn't changed in the level that he's given United.
I remember Robin Van Persie used to say, like, because we used to travel in together in the car, and he used to talk about stuff. He just loves football, and he used to say, like, I just know that when I run, like Scholes, he just finds me. He just sees it. It's like there ain't many players in your life that you play a game with where you know that if you run and turn away, like normally when you run, you're looking at where the ball's coming from to see if they've seen you. He said he could just run. Same with Wayne Rooney, to be fair. Head down and just run, and the ball will just turn up. It's just nuts. And the goal against was it Villa?
Aston Villa.
When we won the league. Number 20.
Man. That Rooney pass. And it's tell me, is it true that, because they say that Fergie said, I mean, there was one game where he was like, listen, I don't know what you lot are doing. Give the ball to Van Persie. He'll do the rest. And I think Rooney, for someone of his calibre, who was arguably our most important player, just said, you know what? This is you, innit? And you could see in
Is that what it was?
That was the greatnest of Wayne Rooney as well. The humility. You know, like this is like possibly this generation of English players, best player, right? Arguably. And he would sacrifice elements of his game to say, you know what, Cristiano Ronaldo ain't going to do. If two of us do what Cristiano does and just kind of like cheats a little bit here and there because I'm good enough, then we're probably not going to get over the line and win. So you know what, Cristiano, you continue to do that and you can get your 40 goals. I don't mind getting 20, 25 goals, but I'll go out and play left sometimes and I'll chase their winger back sometimes and I'll smash one of their midfielders and I'll put the graft in. And he'd done that with him and he'd done that with Robin Van Persie. So when Robin Van Persie come, Wazza had to take a little bit of a side, not a backward step, but a sideward step to say, look, let me just ease this guy in. The managers identified him as the guy to get us over the line to win the league. I've got to play maybe a little bit of a different role. The greatest players managed to be able to manoeuvre in the squad and the team to make sure the team functions the best. And Wayne Rooney, one of his best attributes was that his humility.
So, but did he do it in a way where you could see that he was humble about it? Did it hurt a little bit?
He didn't like it, I've got to be honest. He's done it through gritted teeth, because sometimes he would be like he'd come in and the first thing we'd say on the recovery day, we used to be on the bikes and we used to have all the data coming up. Or you get it from the scientific guys. Yeah, run furthest again, guys.
Seriously?
That's what you would say.
Yeah.
Most high intensity runs.
Really?
Yep, I'm top of the tree again. Like,
Wow.
That's
Just reminding you.
Because that was him. He was one of the most technically sound, but also physically, his output was nuts. Do you know what I mean? So
I feel like he's underrated in our country.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, I don't think there's a player. I remember watching 2004 the Euros. I think it was England against France. That game was billed Scholes against Vieira.
Yeah.
But people don't see what Rooney did, the tackles that
best
he
player on
made
the pitch.
Bro.
against some of the, if not the greatest.
Was it the best
players.
Rooney you've seen?
Defo. That Rooney was
Even better than in the Man United shirt.
Oh, that's tough. Because I think it was more consistent. But in those competitions, I think because you've only got a short amount of games and they're very high octane games, high octane games, that like it matters more. And I think that England team, as you already know, you've played in it. It didn't reach the levels it should have, but with the amount of players that they had, it should have. And Rooney was, for me, he was one of the best players in the world at that time. As in, like the best player in the world.
Jody Lescott said that at that time. He's arguably the best player in the world at that moment.
And you had Zidane, you had Ronaldinho, you had all these players like making the name for themselves.
He had that French team on the ropes.
Yeah, big player.
Back to Van Persie, right? You said obviously you used to love playing with Scholes, right? What was Scholes' thoughts about him? Because he was a little bit more casual about it, innit?
No, I told you what he said, man. It was a little bit. Why are you trying to bring this out again? No, we trained one day and we was doing like 1v1s or 2v2s or something like that. And I was a defender, me, Vidic, obviously, and the guys were defending. And it was only, he's been there a couple of months, top goal scorer in the league on a mad run. And then he faced me up. And you know that one where he used to pretend to shoot and then drag it? Roll it with his studs. He'd done that against me and slotted it. And then I remember we come off, the manager went, or the coach went, right, next pitch, we're going to go and do another activity. And Scholes just trotted over, doesn't say much ever, trotted over and went, it's another level, that, isn't it? Yeah. I just went, yeah. Oh. I weren't putting it in.
Oh,
no, brother. He was a mad player. Van Persie.
Yeah. Levels.
Techie.
Listen, I want to move it on to, it's not so important, this cup. FA Cup, United beat Reading.
You what?
That's all you've been shouting about the last 4 years, 5 years.
We won it 4 times
You've
in 9 years.
changed your tune so badly.
The forever Arsenal Cup.
Can we get someone who's coming in now? Why is he changed?
Go on,
Bro.
go talk.
So he's been one of those content Arsenal fans. You know them fans that are like, I'll take whatever. And then they'll hold on to the fact that you are the most successful team to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, 4 and 9.
Now that it looks like you're going to win the Premier League, that's just like you're putting that to
Say
the
that again.
side.
Say that again.
I'm an honest person. It does look like currently.
I like this.
But this is also a big lesson for you guys. Because if you don't win it, I'm every single day until the day I die, I'm going to make you know.
It doesn't matter. Why are you so concerned about us?
We're not.
We're
We're focused on
Man United and Reading. You're not. You're focused about Man United and Reading. If Arsenal don't win the Premier League, bro, relax, bro. We've got this.
You've done a eulogy. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, we did it. A fantastic eulogy as well, by the way. You were top of the tree, by the way. You noticed you was named first. But yeah, Man United beating Reading.
I do know what you're talking about now. Yeah, try to come for man. You named me last.
Yeah. Last but not least.
Feisty.
Yeah, man. That's what you got to do. But yeah, listen. So you guys beat Reading 3-1. It was actually a pretty decent performance. Everyone's banging on about Casemiro this, Casemiro that. Like, I don't know why.
Why are you always mentioning my man's name?
No, allow it.
Everyone's messaging me, Rio.
Yeah, because it's the audacity of you bringing his name up the way you did in the context that you did.
All I can say is it was a great performance, but it was against Reading. But yeah, no, definitely a big impact.
Do you know what was the most pleasing thing about that game?
Go on.
Was the press conference after. And Paul Ince's comments saying that last year, if they'd have come there to Old Trafford to play Man United, they'd have gone there and said, listen, we could beat these. Whereas now, under Erik ten Hag, they're approaching the game very different. And I think you can see that in the way teams are coming to Old Trafford now. Teams used to come to Old Trafford the last few years, sleeves rolled up, collars up, if they had collars, shirts out, socks down, thinking this is it. I've come to put the spotlight on myself and make a name for myself here at Old Trafford. Taking liberties, and whereas now he's started to change that now, and it seems like You was there the other day against City. The atmosphere in the stadium is different now.
I've never almost cried before in my life.
Is it?
It was.
Why?
Yeah, because you.
What do you mean? What you see? You don't feel this, you Arsenal fans.
Man.
You ain't connected to your club like this.
You don't understand.
You're not connected to your club like this.
What?
United
emotion.
Yes, the United win or lose, it affects my day, my week, bro. Seeing, I've been a season ticket holder for almost 3 years now.
Talk to them, please.
And I've seen literally the worst games. I've seen City, I've seen Everton, I've seen teams that like usually when they come to Old Trafford, like Rio said, it's a very, very scary sight to come to Old Trafford, and it hasn't been that for a few years, innit? So to see us go against our noisy rivals, our noisy neighbours, and also win, come back from 1-0 down.
That was a good
to win for me. The atmosphere, Stretford End was absolutely buzzing. The noise that they made after Rashford scored that second goal, for me, it shows that there's a belief in the team.
There is.
And when we speak about Casemiro, like that's a player who has won 5 Champions League. Who's at the
We
biggest
know
club.
about his history.
No, but my
You
point
didn't.
is-
You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't. The way you was chatting, you didn't know his history.
What's wrong
We know
with
about
him?
his history.
He's,
We know.
I think he's scared. This is showing
he's
someone
crying.
who's actually scared
Of
because
what?
of one of the
Have you seen
greatest.
where we are? Look
Huh?
up. Look up.
Oh,
We're
whatever.
there. We're there. We're right there. Top of the table. We're right there. We're right there, bro. Go on, carry on.
But my point is, he's come to a team that everyone can see is failing in terms of the way where we should be. He's come and he's absolutely changed the way we play in terms of the solidity that we have in midfield. He's adding more to his game in terms of goals. He's defending better. He literally he's leading by example by not saying a word but just by his actions, innit? So these numbers that he got in the Reading game,
you can see innit?
like he's doing really, really well. And the 6 assists, 4 goals, that for me is for a defensive-ish type of midfield player.
He's alright.
It's crazy. So
He's alright.
his influence is crazy. And I also think Ten Hag has got a massive, massive part to play in that because you can bring any world-class
I
player
thought he
to
was
a
already
team.
good.
Who? No, Casemiro, of course, but some managers, like for example, with all due respect to Oli and to Ragnick and the managers we had before.
Or them man there that you guys wanted out, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, those guys.
I don't think Casemiro is shining that way in that team, and I think that shows it's a big part of Casemiro's abilities, but also
That's a good question. That's a good thing to put out there. Do you think Casemiro would be playing the way Casemiro is under previous managers here?
Hell no. Not in those
chance.
horrible, diabolical
That tells
teams.
you Eric Ten Hag.
Nah, it's
He's
true.
doing well.
No,
He's doing well.
respect to him. But yeah, I think obviously look, he's played really well. Earlier on, I had said that he was better than Partey was better than him attacking.
Do you still believe that? Do you still believe?
No, not attacking wise, because
Do
obviously
you think
the stats are saying
Partey's
something
better
else.
than him?
come on,
Better
bro, man.
better this season? Do you think
Guys,
Partey's been better this
form,
season?
I reckon right now it's neck on neck, bruv.
Jesus.
Like it's tight.
Get in the comments
It's
and just
tight.
drill this
No, I
guy
just-
to the
If you
floor.
say
Please,
Casemiro,
please.
I'm not arguing. If you say Partey, you know,
There's an uproar.
There is.
I'm not arguing
and
either,
Partey's
you know.
incredible
But
for
look,
Arsenal, but no way near.
Bro,
way near.
don't worry,
There's
mate.
levels.
Don't worry, we'll see. But yeah, I want to move it on to Marcus Rashford. For me, this guy, like last
Marcus
10
Abdul
games,
Aziz
goals.
Marcus
You know?
Abdul Aziz Rashford.
Man scored goals against Sheriff, West Ham, Aston Villa, Burnley, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Everton, Charlton, Man City, and Reading. Mate, the incredible scoring streak. The incredible scoring streak comes to an end, bro. This season he looks like a new guy. Like the confidence. I've seen that he's put on weight as well a little bit. He's been banging in the gym. Just last year he tried to take on players and he just weren't really pulling it off. You'll see that he's running into like dead ends and stuff like that. It's like everything he does this year is working. What is that down to, Rio? Is it just confidence or is it an improvement in his ability?
From speaking to people at the club and around him, I think fitness is the massive key. I think the ability with Marcus has always been there. The big always question was, will he be able to get enough goals to really elevate him to that top echelon of players, and make him sit at the top table with the Mbappes, etc. I'm not saying he's there now or there yet, but what he's doing right now, you have to put him up as being probably the most informed striker in the world, along with probably Haaland.
It's mad, isn't it?
Right, crazy. So he's come back from the World Cup, and he just seems like a new version of Marcus Rashford. We've seen this in glimpses in fits and starts, but this is the consistency now that's different, that is making people sit up and go, you know what? Whoa, actually, this guy really serious. So and what it seems like for me, I said this on a couple of the shows we've done after games he's played and scored. He looks like he's just scoring at will. And from different parts of the pitch where he can score, he's scoring where he gets the ball out wide and you think there's no danger, then all of a sudden the ball's in the back of the net like Wolves. Or you can run in and he's clinical finishing 1v1. So all elements of his game, different facets are really improving. And long may this run continue, man. And even if he doesn't score, but just impacts the games is important still.
So when it comes to his contract negotiation, I know we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. He's in a driving seat at the moment, man. Like, we're not talking.
We were talking about this, innit? Do you break the pay structure to keep Marcus Rashford? Because they're talking about a pay structure we saw in the media. I don't know how true that is, but they mentioned the pay structure of nothing more than say 2 to 250 grand a week. Yeah. Do you break that, considering there's players on more than that?
Wait. Answer this as a Man United fan, not a Marcus Rashford friend.
No. I think for me, it's mad because based off form, you would say because he's our informed player, and without him, the goals just don't come. They don't happen anymore, innit? But then what that does, and we've seen it happen many times in football, is once you give a player the money that they're asking for, they feel like they deserve, it kind of allows the player to maybe just step off in it. And we don't need that right now. We need everyone to build together as a team. But if it means keeping Rashford, then I think we need to do it, because who do we go and get? We've got arguably, like you said, one of the best strikers in the world right now. Yeah. And if we want to bring players to United,
you need them.
Having Rashford there makes more sense. And I think based on the team and over the last few years, I think he's one of the players that if we are going to give a big amount of money to, it should be him, because he's Man United through and through.
He's young, he's a local boy.
And he's only going to get better under this manager. So I would, as a United fan, I would say yes, but then I'll be also a bit curious about like how that looks for the rest of the players as well, the Brunos and David De Gea's, who are a bit older than Rashford, and also they've been playing longer, especially.
Do you know what? This is. I think all players, and we got a lot of players that watch the show, but I think players, especially ones who have retired as well, would maybe understand what I'm saying. Players that grow up in the clubs, the Scholesies, the Nevilles, the Wes Browns, the Shazies, the Fletcher, etc., those guys, and the same would be said at Liverpool at the beginning and middle of their careers. They're treated almost like second-class citizens. Do you know that within the hierarchy of the football club in terms of contracts? Never on the biggest contracts, because there's always someone being bought who's elevated above them all the time. This would be a good opportunity to say, no, this is the benchmark. This is one of our local boys. No one can go beyond him. He's the one. And I think if they could reverse that and show that, it shows a real good, strong, like, pathway from the young kids to the first team. They're going to get looked after. You stay, if you're loyal, you get treated the right way. Do you know what I mean? It might be a good opportunity to put like a flag in the sand and go, this is the way we roll now at Man United with this type of situation.
100%, but it's business, innit? So I reckon there's always going to be like a bigger signing, and they're going to put someone else on more money. I think what you're saying is all well and good, but then there's a Rio Ferdinand that gets bought for 30 mil and it just mashes up the whole thing. So what do you do then? It's not your fault personally, and what do you do? Do you know what I mean?
That's what we have to do. That.
Yeah, but exactly. I think with Rashford though, like anyone can see that he's always had the talent. I think why everyone was so like, what's happened to him, was because we know the player that first scored against was Midtjylland and Arsenal, like back-to-back games. We know what type of player he is, innit? However, there was a dip, and then now there's just resurgence of talent.
It's
and
amazing.
I think for me, we just need to keep that going. I think Eric has the right ideas, and he knows how to keep the squad together. I think how he dealt with the whole Ronaldo situation, for me, shows that no one's bigger than the club, and I think that's what every fan wanted. Because
so what, you wanted Ronaldo out?
Do you know what it is? I love Ronaldo. You lot know that already, yeah? However, I love Man United first. So it's always about the club more than anything. And I think that situation definitely could have been dealt with much, much better. Interview didn't need to happen, and it's now tainted, I guess, his legacy of the in the club. Not too much, but for the time being. Yeah. But then also you look now at how better we are without him, and it kind of confirms probably what Ten Hag and some sections of United fans were thinking, that we are better without him. And for me, I think I'm just looking at the future. Ronaldo's probably going to be done in the next few years, whereas Rashford's got another 10 years if he conditions himself properly. Yeah. And so is the likes of, we've got like Garnacho, we've got Palestri. These are young players that are now probably looking at Rashford as the senior statement. Yeah. So I think it's worked out the best, and credit to him as well, because he's still a legend in my eyes.
So how many years till United win the Premier League then, guys?
I'm not doing this, not on here.
We don't need to know. We don't need to look at that.
No, we're not looking at that.
Qualify for the Champions League this year.
Like my boy Culture Cam says, game by game. That's it, game by game, brother. Because right now, I've done this many times as a United fan, yeah? thinking because we've done 9 games in a row of winning games that we're on a little title chart. I all done a video outside OT. I lost my head.
Come on.
So now I've come back to reality.
We've all done that. Don't worry.
No, I do all the time.
He said, sign the contract now.
We've all been a meme. We've all been a meme.
Yeah, I've done it. So this time round, I just don't want to put pressure on the club. I'm enjoying watching Man United play again, and that's for me was the most important thing, to enjoy and see us literally competing from the minute the
whistle
whistle. So I'm just happy that we're doing that right now.
What happened to your boys anyway in the FA Cup?
Because I do remember.
Basically, as you know, we're going for the league, right? So we've got bigger fish to fry. We've got the Europa coming up as well. We might try in that.
Oh, you might? Okay, cool.
We made 6 changes, since the game anyway. We lost 1-0 to City at the Etihad. One of the things I'm most pleased about is that's probably the most we've competed at the Etihad for many, many years. We went there. Honestly, you might not have seen. Congratulations, Rio. Number 5. I know you was busy with the misses and that. Yeah. I'll tell you what happened.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. We played them, bruv. We played them off the park. Tomiyasu had great chances. Eddie and Nketiah could have scored. Yes, they were threatening as well, but I'll be really honest, man. We looked solid.
You got beat anyway, so
we got beat, but we got to play them a couple more times, and I guarantee you.
Yeah, what does that do for your mental state of mind going into that next game?
It's brilliant. I love it. You see me, when you lose, right? If you've got the right attitude, you got to bounce back, bro.
We'll see.
Work even harder.
Yeah, we did that twice.
I'm not into all of this. We get beat, and then you start getting beat over and over again. Not in this Mikel Arteta team. Not in this team.
This is crazy. It's
the truth.
It's these fans that make it worse.
I'll
be honest with you.
The fall becomes a higher fall.
Just
like
chill.
Yeah. But I haven't finished.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just letting you know we've got to play them a couple more times, and I'll be honest with you. I reckon we can grab 4 points off the next 2 league games, and it's really important. If we grab those points, I believe we're going to win the league, guys.
I do as well.
I believe that.
And you know what, Rio? It hurts for me to say this, and I said it on my Snapchat the other day. No one forced me to do so, but I was watching the game, and I think it was around 50 minutes. I literally went on my Snapchat and I said, you know what? Arsenal actually play very good football. Like, it literally looks like they are very composed under any type of pressure.
Come on.
They play fluid football from the back to literally to the front. And I think when you've got players like Saka, now they've got Trossard. For me, it's just like, look.
He had a good game, by the way.
He's incredible.
I think it's a wrap. I've got to be honest, I do. I think no matter what the results happen against City, I still think you guys have enough confidence, quality, the calmness to take the league.
And you know, I'm so happy. Shout out to Chelsea for hijacking that Modric deal. Because I promise you,
it'd been a joke.
Yeah.
I saw 20 minutes.
I
said it's enough for me to say this guy's got it.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Chelsea, and just keep
I've
doing
spoken to a couple of people around that Modric and what they say that they forget his ability mentally. He's ready. He's a focused kid. All the tattoos and that is speaking a different story to what's actually behind the eyes. Meant to be on it.
Really. Boy, we'll see. I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, Liverpool, before we move on to the striker section.
Liverpool, man. What's going on?
They're getting slapped, bruv.
Mate.
Getting slapped, beat by Brighton, 2-1.
Some sort of
What, an inquest?
An inquest. The Scotland Yard need to
get for the chop.
Oh, no, that would be raw. That would be raw.
No, that's where you was going.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I do like. Look, Klopp's an incredible manager, but I think someone highlighted this to me. I can't remember who said it. They said that you're looking at a team that has been fighting tooth and nail to be one of the best teams in Europe for 3-4 years, and it's taken a sting out of them. You've got players like Salah, who is a bit laxy daisy right now.
I reckon it's because Mane's gone.
I said that personally.
I reckon
he's underrated, undervalued. He was.
Why didn't they just pay him the money to stay?
He's explosive. He was an explosive player.
Not just that. I reckon it's the competitive edge. I'll take it back. Remember when Sturridge, Sterling and Suarez were playing? Mate, they were competing. Who's going to score the most? Every game you're competing against someone. But then sometimes once one of those players goes, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? The competitive edge is gone. Who's he competing against?
I just think they let the wrong one go. I think they should have let Firmino go, if any of them, because...
No, but it weren't out of them two, Rio.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna, I just don't understand how you let someone who is actually world class at that moment in time, who ideally would have liked to have stayed if you'd have given the contract he was looking for, or something similar to what Salah got. I don't know how... I just can't get my head around it. I think every Liverpool fan must be sitting there going, wow, how have we let this slip through our hands, a player of that calibre?
Unfortunately, though, Diaz has been injured, and he was a very bright spark when they did sign him. And
true.
I did think, what a good replacement to have.
Yeah, he ain't Mane, though.
But he's not Mane, and I think Mane is one of those players. He's not a luxury player. He is that player. He just is that guy.
Unpredictable.
And then obviously with Liverpool, I mean, the form of some of the players that we've seen that we was highlighting as some of the best players in the world have just completely dipped. From Van Dijk, and a lot of them. It's just it's not been, and I can't put a finger on all of them because collectively they haven't. And I don't know about the signings as well. Some of the signings are kind of, it looks like it's been rushed.
It shows you how like, I hate going back to Fergie, but it shows you how much of a genius he was in terms of evolving and refreshing and replenishing these squads to continue sustained assaults year after year on the Premier League and Champions League on all fronts. It's hard to do that over long periods of times. And yes, he did. He built like 3 or 4 teams, but they didn't have like massive dips. I think before I came, they didn't win the league for 1 season, I think, or 2 seasons. Then we won the league when I signed. Then we didn't win it for 2 seasons when Mourinho come, and then we went like on a madness.
3 years.
But like but what I'm saying, it's hard to sustain that over like a 10-year cycle. And the teams now, you're seeing it. City are doing it. To be fair to them, they're on a mad cycle of winning. But for this Liverpool team, they're understanding now that you can't just keep churning out season after season without replenishing your squad the right way.
But tell me though, how was it back then when you're in a Fergie team and you ain't won the league for a year? Like, do you
pressure,
is it
mad
like?
Pressure.
Yeah, what was it like that period when Jose? Because as a fan, I hated Chelsea so much because they took away my fun.
Yeah, when Jose come, he ripped up the form book and the way things are meant to be done and said, this is now the new way you win the league. You start quick. Because we could afford to get to Christmas this time of year slow and we could even be 8, 9, 10 points behind and still go, we'll win the league. Confidently say, we'll reckon we'll win the league. And then the way it turned away from that after the first time I won it to after that, it was different. It was like, no, you have to start, because they were going like 13 points clear before Christmas. Like, you're like, Jesus, these guys are on fire, consistently turning out 3 points, bang, bang, bang. And then, so we had to kind of be on it from the get-go. And it was just to kind of just reconfiguring the mindset, really. You could be a bit lax, go and win 3-2 or have a 3-3 away somewhere, and you couldn't end up doing that. And Mourinho did change, he set the bar.
Are you looking at Chelsea and their players and there's an envy there? Your boy Frank Lampard, obviously you're meeting up for England duty and stuff like that, but are you, when someone's on top, you generally don't like them. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're competing, especially as a footballer, you're thinking...
It's like you lot, you're with your mates in your WhatsApp groups. There's certain bods in there you don't like because they're the team that's winning at that moment. There's someone in there, you're your mates, but there's a little underlying little niggle where you think, It's the same with the players, man. We were exactly the same. I'm sure I know they were for a fact that they were the same towards us. When we were winning, they didn't necessarily like us or like us for that moment in time. And like you see it now, we see each other around in the circuit, we're all friends and we have a laugh and have a drink together, But at that time, if the mindset's just about winning, if you're winning something that I deem to be mine, I ain't going to like you. It's just natural human instinct.
Especially when and I keep saying Frank Lampard because you grew up with him. That's someone you've known since you were a kid.
Yeah, we didn't chat for years.
Yeah.
It's mad. Like, we went from chatting and rooming together and being together, going out. We'd room together, organise our night out, travel together, go out, wake up on a Sunday, go out all day again. Like, our weekends were like that for years. And weeks we're training and living together the whole time, on the road all the time. Because our teams are fighting for the same things, not chatting at all.
Not even
no mention of it, just not talking.
That is mad.
But that says, I think, as much as people probably say why and it costs England and so on and so forth, club football was your day-to-day, whereas I guess the international stage was every few months and what. So you're with your team more than you're probably with Frank, because obviously he's in London, you're in Manchester and so on and so forth. So I don't look at it as a bad thing, because that's what made the Premier League for me the best at the time, was when you could see that these lot are not even talking to each other, but they know each other, and it's a credit to
that's what I need. I want to see back. Like, I want to see the hatred.
Rio's over.
Don't you see everyone in each other's Instagram comments and you know what I mean? Like, I find that a bit weird though. I can't lie. I find that a little bit weird though.
I think also though, because there's a lot of foreign exports now in the Premier League. It's hard for you to have that, that rivalry. Some of the players know that, okay, I'm only going to be here for 2 years, where when you guys was playing, your career at Man United was very long.
It was the pinnacle. You're here and that's it. Man United is the place to be.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, on your occasion, some of the players wanted to go to Madrid, but besides that, Man United was the place to be. Well, let's move on. Let's move on.
Not even
Some of your players wanted to come to Man United.
And they did. And they did.
To win.
Yeah.
So I understand that, to be fair. But you know what? I want to move it on to a comparison of strikers. So we did our show called This or That last week, and we compared a few strikers together. And
Van Nistelrooy versus Van Persie was a good one.
We did prime Van Nistelrooy.
What did you lot say?
I went Van Persie through gritted teeth.
I'm not going to lie, bro. Van Nistelrooy
was nuts.
You know when I didn't know what football was, because I can honestly say around the time when Van Nistelrooy was playing, I didn't know what football was really. And I just always thought he was a goal hanger. I thought he was just, because most of his goals was in the box. Upon reflection and watching him and reading Fergie's his biography and stuff, that guy was integral to Man United's success during those years, and it was very difficult to win because we had Arsenal who were their Thierry Henry. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And still, for them to not be level, but they were the two best strikers in the league by a mile away. He just wanted to score, and he scored all type of goals, headers. He scored his runs. He's very quick, strong. Like for me, he was just a bad man.
He's the most devastating finisher I've played with.
Yeah,
and that says a lot.
Nasty,
bro. Is it?
Oh, mate.
You know, it's funny because we had him on a show a couple of years ago, and he said all he did was on the weekends after a game, gets on the team bus, he goes on the teletext or whatever he could to find out how many did Thierry Henry score.
In the change room, mate. In the change room, you have TVs in the change room. So I remember Middlesbrough away, I'll never forget, I think he scored, I don't know what happened, we won the game. And he's looking at the screen, everyone's like, yeah, you know the vibe, everyone's buzzing. And I could just see him look, I said, what? He said, and all of a sudden he went, Jesus, like, vex. I said, what's wrong? We just got 3 points. He said, Thierry scored 2, man.
Wow. So that competing for the golden boot,
that was
competing for the golden boot, man, it's crazy.
It was big.
Yeah, but look, we've got here strikers. So we've got here Lewandowski, Karim Benzema.
Wow.
We got here Harry Kane.
You sent me this yesterday. I was looking at it and thinking, do you know
Suarez.
what? I'm going to go with one thing, right? You've got so the names you got: Lewandowski, Benzema, Suarez, Harry Kane, and Aguero and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yes,
there's 6 strikers there and we're talking about the best strikers in the Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo era.
Okay. Yeah.
The number 9s, and I would say the only one I didn't play against in that group is Lewandowski. I didn't play against him, but the others, the hardest to play against for me was Benzema.
And that's I remember that game that you played against him. I think it was Lyon at Old Trafford.
Yeah, not away at their place.
Yeah,
he scored.
Devastating.
He had one chance.
You said he was like special at the time, but what are you seeing at that time? Because he's not.
His all-round game out of all of those players, his all-round game was the most sound, was the most complete.
Really?
Like he could receive the ball. The way he received the ball was the way you would do it as a textbook. If he was writing a book about how to receive the ball, where he's putting his body between you and the ball to protect it, receiving it on the side where he can play a pass at the right pace at the right time to be able to get in behind you, sucking you in to play and then go in behind you. Like everything, even though that goal against Lyon, for Lyon that he scored against us, the way he took that goal, it doesn't even look like anything. But when you break that goal down, the touch, the movement, the awareness of the amount of people around him on his weaker side, mate, and he was young, he's like 21 or 20 at that time. I just thought, wow, and I played against him for England against France in Paris. And that game, I couldn't get the ball off him. The ball was coming in, he was knocking it off one touch. When I weren't tight enough, taking 2-3 touches, turning, facing me. Everything I'd done, he reacted for the benefit of his own game. It was the others I could get to, I could ruffle their feathers at times, or I could nick the ball off him. He was so clean with what he'd done. It was so difficult to play against, I swear. And he's one of them man, he don't really change his... he's like Dennis Bergkamp, them guys there, they just got that one...
Ice cold.
Yeah,
Ice cold,
you don't know if it's going well for them or going bad. Confident or not confident. Face is the same. Hard to read them guys. I need to see some emotion so I can play off it a little bit. He weren't giving you that.
Was he vocal to his teammates?
He didn't say nothing.
No way.
Nothing. Quiet assassin, bruv. Mad. And their goal scoring records ain't too dissimilar, all of them, by the way.
Yeah.
But for me, as the hardest to play against, I'm not saying he's the best, but he's the hardest for me to play against. Lewandowski's goal record ratio is better than all of them. It's the maddest.
I think he's a complete finisher. Like, I think when you're talking about finishing, and also the different type of goals he scored for Bayern and for Dortmund and also for Poland, I guess, they're very different. He can score a penalty. You just know he's going to score it. He's good with his feet, left foot, right foot. I remember he scored 5 goals in like 90 minutes or whatever.
He's a goal machine.
He's a goal machine, but I agree with Rio, with Benzema.
Did you play against him?
Yeah. I mean, that was at Madrid. I think I was at. But like, do you know what I mean? I agree in terms of watching Benzema play. It just looks beautiful, and I think a massive credit to his career is the fact that when Ronaldo left, everyone was saying probably his goals are going to dry up and they're going to need to find a new striker.
Yeah.
I think he's cold, but I think out of all these players, he looks the most harmless. He looks. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying I played against him. He looks the most harmless. I wanted to ask you about Luis Suarez. What's that like? Obviously, you started playing. That was like near the end of your career, wasn't it? So,
but he was probably the most unpredictable out of all of them.
Really?
Like I remember, to be fair, Sir Alex Ferguson never told me too many times about how to defend, but he did tell me about him, and that showed me that he was concerned. And he come to me before he played Liverpool at Anfield, and he said, "Listen, Rio, don't nibble." So by that he means when he's running at you, do not go. Don't make the first move. Let him make the first move. And I had to think about it for a little while, and I was like, okay, because and I watch these clips. So I'd get these clips on a Friday afternoon. I'll get all of his goal attempts, all of his shots, obviously, all of his movements in the final third, and all of his goals for that season. And I'm watching them, and I'm seeing the common theme was that as soon as a defender went to go and get him, he would so quick to react and move and then beat them. Or kick it through it
would hit the shin and then go through it somehow.
So in the game, I just waited, and he didn't really create anything. It was because he'd go back because he's waiting for me. I give myself a little bit of space between me and him, and so he's thinking, well, to get past him, I've got to kick it past him. And he's actually quite quick, so I ain't going to get the other side. So I'll just play it back. So it's a bit psychological, the game with him. No taking away. My man was a mad player, wicked player, but he was. He wasn't someone like Aguero I found harder to play against. Aguero was one of the hardest I played against. He'd be in my top 5, 6, 7 players.
Really?
Hardest to play against strikers, because he didn't mind going both ways. And we had a young player upstairs there just talking to him about, and his ability, Keanu his name is, at Benfica, his ability to go both ways, that sets you apart. That makes you almost indefendable. Because normally a defender, I know you're going to go on your right foot, you want to go on your right foot. I'll either send you there knowing you're going to be there, so I'm waiting for you, you ain't really going to chop back, or I'll send you on your left foot and know that you're going to try and get back on your left foot, on your right foot. So I know there's an outcome that I'm kind of playing towards. Whereas with Aguero, if I showed him on his left, he'd say thanks, bang, goal. Show him on his right,
clinical, man,
Hey,
bang.
he was low centre of gravity,
mad footballer.
So, but why did you struggle then? Because we also did prime Suarez, prime Aguero. First of all, who are you picking out of the two?
That's a tough one because I look at is prime Suarez when he was at Barca.
It has to be in it. That's where he did all his.
For me, I just think that team was just.
It was mad.
I picked prime Suarez. You picked prime Aguero, innit?
Yeah.
Stevie G said that Suarez is the best striker he's played with, better than Rooney.
But he didn't play with Rooney for 38 games a season, so
true.
Stevie. Do you know what I mean? No, but I hear it though, because I'm not gonna lie, Suarez. Whenever we played against Liverpool,
it's mad,
you just knew he was either going to score or assist, didn't it? But then Aguero, you just knew he was going to score. So it's tough. But I just think that
Suarez made me go on my head, bruv, once. You see that picture? I'm going to have to get the picture and put it up. Bruv, he made
put
me
a
go on
picture
my
up. Come on, put a picture in.
He went up my arm on my head.
I want to talk about quickly.
Wait, could I just say something?
Go on.
When you does trophies come into this? Because when you look at Benzema's. Bro,
he's the GOAT, man. Like for me,
5 Champions Leagues, 4 Spanish champions, 4 French championships as well. FIFA clubs, 4.
He's clear, man.
Mate, Football of the Year 4 times. Ballon d'Or winner as well.
But I think
Benzema's the one for me. I think
he's number 1, man.
Clear.
Harry Kane's on that list, by the way.
Do you know what?
He's going to score. He's going to break the records.
Yeah, but what is all this about? I'm hearing he's trying to sign a new contract at Tottenham.
you know what someone said to me about Kane? They said, that
Ria's face says it all.
No, they said, that he is probably one of the best finishers that we've ever seen in world football.
It don't mean anything.
But I don't think, like that whole City situation where he was going to sign and his brother done a little madness or whatever it was, Like, I believe he's absolutely hit the ceiling at Spurs, and I think
he hit the ceiling like 5 years ago.
Yeah, but this is my point. It's like you haven't gone and tested yourself in a better team because you do deserve to be in a better team. Yeah. And I think until he gets some trophies, and football is about trophies. You look at some of the players and you're like, okay, cool. What has he won? Like, what has he won during a period where all these teams was good? What has he won? And Spurs, for me, if they, They had a Champions League final. They didn't win it. Had he have won that, then conversations
maybe,
different.
and it would have been special.
Then obviously the stuff with England as well. So it's like it's tainted his legacy. But I still believe
100%
that he is.
There's no doubt in it. I agree. There's no doubt in what a player is. There's mad high ceiling for this guy. What a player.
But it's like,
but what do you start playing football for, bro? Do you start to win to be the top goal scorer, or do you play to win trophies? I don't. Or I want to hear Harry Kane come out and just put me to bed and just go, listen, I'm playing at my boyhood club. I can't be any happier, so I'm content here.
Done.
You say that, shuts up all arguments and conversations. But until I hear that, we're within our right, I think, to question and ask, like, why?
I was having this conversation. I said, the two better strikers, greater strikers, in my opinion, than Harry Kane, no matter how much goals he scored, is Wayne Rooney and Michael Owen. Because I got to watch Michael Owen when I was young.
He shook up the world in his
Peak
time, didn't he?
Michael Owen.
Peak Michael Owen.
Every conversation.
Every conversation. I mean, from seeing him that...
Is peak Michael Owen...
Would you agree?
Peak Michael Owen... You saying he's better than Harry Kane?
I swear to
you
God,
saying
that's how I...
peak Rooney better than Harry Kane?
Peak Rooney.
Yeah,
do you not like people with your own because you want to be the only Harry?
No. Because there's two Harrys. There's two Harrys out there that play for England right now that can't touch my lace my boots. But no, for me, I think Michael Owen. Yeah. You don't win a Ballon d'Or for no reason. I always say this. You don't win it for no reason. And I believe from '98 to 2004, maybe.
2004 is pushing it.
No, because when he moved to Real Madrid,
2002.
I still think he was. I think injuries messed him up.
Yeah.
Injuries.
But the run that guy was on was he could score against
madness.
any centre back in the world, bro.
The only reason why he weren't starting at Real Madrid is because he had Raúl and
Ronaldo,
and original
bro.
Ronaldo.
His goal ratio was
still scoring.
He scored like
Still
90
scoring.
goals.
I don't remember seeing many strikers put fear into defenders like primetime Michael Owen. We need to get him on to talk about this because he's very humble and shy. I think Vibe with 5 can get it out of him.
Yeah. Did you? You know, when you played against him...
No, there's only two man I played against on the halfway line and I was looking for cover. Michael Owen prime time, Nicholas Anelka at Arsenal. Those two guys
different
on the halfway line, Anfield felt like I was in Hackney Marshes. And the pitch was the whole of Hackney Marshes. That's what it felt like. It was, mad pace.
But credit to Harry Kane's career, and he's like, I'll take him at Man United.
I'll take an Andy Cole career, Ian Wright career. I'm not saying that they're no good. Obviously they're top players, but
they're not in this list because they're different.
But I'll take their career all day long.
All of them. Teddy Sheringham.
All of them. Teddy Sheringham. I'll take their careers.
I want trophies, like not individual trophies. Yeah, they're great. They are great, but like it's what you win as a team, man. Bro, you're not a boxer.
Come on,
you're a team sport.
Come on.
I was having this conversation, with Avellino and Nathan Tettier on the way back from Manchester, and was talking about like our favorite 11-a-side in world football and stuff, and obviously Rio's.
He didn't have Zidane in his, by the way, but go on, carry on.
I'm gonna let it slide. We'll talk about
Go on.
Your favorite ever? Okay,
Zidane.
Go on.
That's the GOAT for me.
The way they were trying to justify not having him.
You have to.
I was just looking at him and see like.
Go on.
But my point is, we was talking about like all the players that we named, have done something in their career where they were the leading figure to why the team was successful. And I think, when you look at people like Harry Kane, he's a leading figure to why Tottenham are in the conversation, but not why they're successful. And I think, for me, players like Modric and Bell, they probably clocked early doors, or people thought, you know what, this ain't gonna go where we think it's gonna go. So when opportunities come your way, they take them. They're gone. And it's not to say that they don't respect the club that's built them up. It's just that I'm at a level now. You lot have built me up to this level where I feel like I can go and do better.
Justified to go.
And I think any Spurs fan would look at it and be like, do you know what? You've tried. And with stuff that's happened with Spurs, with the whole board and stuff, it's not been fair.
Look, I went to Leeds, I was the most expensive defender in the world at the time, I went to a World Cup, right? Played really well, whatever. If I didn't go to Man United then, I still would have been walking around looking at other players that were winning things, etc., feeling inferior. No matter if I'm the most expensive player, no matter if everyone's saying, "Oh, you're one of the best." My motivation was winning, man. Like, I walked around the corridors at Man United looking at people like Sir Bobby Charlton, looking at people like Dennis Irwin, looking at people like Peter Schmeichel, going like Andy Cole, thinking, I can't even look at these guys in the eyes. I ain't won the Champions League. I ain't won enough league to look at these guys. And I was in the walls of Man United at that point. I'd won a league at that point and still felt inferior.
Seriously?
Yeah. Until I won the Champions League, I couldn't look at these guys. They would never know it because I never carried myself like that. But deep down, I was like, it was burning a hole inside me. I wanted to win.
That's a mentality, though.
Did they look at you like that?
They didn't.
Bit?
Yeah,
I
know Coley would always.
Yeah.
We're having Coley. Coley's coming on in a couple of weeks.
By the way.
Right?
Oh, lovely.
But Coley,
Coming on.
100%. Like me, I'll be the same. I'll look at man and say, "Bruv, you can't even talk too much. Don't talk
Cody's
too much."
Actually, probably one of the few football players that doesn't care whatsoever. He's just mentality. He's just.
Rio says it all the time, and
the real Cole is coming on.
Andy,
the real Andy Cole. I don't want.
Andrew.
Sorry. I don't want. I want the Andrew Cole that I shared changing room with. I want the Andrew Cole that I've chilled with at different functions in your house, in my house, in parties. I want that Andrew Cole right here.
He said he's coming. There was actually a message that said, he's coming on.
Yeah, he is.
I think we've got a date for it as well. I don't want to say the wrong date, but he's definitely coming on soon. So I'm really happy about that.
Can we just move it forward? Sorry, back to this list. Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
I was going to say.
So I interviewed. We've got an interview coming out shortly with Patrick Vieira. Went down to the training ground. Shout out Crystal Palace and all the guys there. Thank you.
Sick.
But we done his best five-a-side team that he played with. Oh my God. I'm not going to tell you the team, but Zlatan's in it, right? And if he lists some of the players that he played with, mate, I don't know if we've interviewed a guy who's played with that amount of mad players.
But this is because you're too busy doing Man United chats that you forget. Every guest that we've had on here, we've asked them who's the hardest midfielder, like from that era.
Yeah, Frank Lampard says it.
Vieira.
Stevie
all
says
of them.
It. Vieira,
Yeah.
But mate, no, he's five-a-side team. But Zlatan, what my point is with this list of strikers, Zlatan is in there, right? And I remember I spoke to Fabio Capello at the World Cup, Zlatan, and I said, "Who's one of the best players you've worked with?" Zlatan's in the convo. You think of the players that he's had, the AC Milan era, etc. So Zlatan, and you look at what he's won, by the way. This guy went, I think, about a 10 or 11 year streak of winning the league every year. You know, he was in Italy, various clubs, Juventus, Inter, AC, and in Paris.
He even won stuff at United.
And he won 2 Dutch championships as well. Yeah. He's won a ridiculous amount. Crazy.
Got better the older he got as well.
Yeah.
You know, like, honestly, for him, I just don't think. I don't know what it is. I feel like there are players that are better than him. In my opinion, you know, I think technically brilliant. You know, I'm not.
I just think that's because he weren't playing over here though. Because if he was here, listen, he came at the age he came at and still smashed up our league. Imagine if he come in prime time Zlatan, he would have tore it up.
Mentally, I think he was
the strongest.
Stronger than. That's why he's able to play for so long. And I think, but my argument would be with Joel probably is that when the players like R9, Eto'o, and all of those players were playing at their prime. Yeah, he wasn't there. He was in and about, but
he weren't there.
He weren't there though, innit? And I think
true.
Longevity in his career, he will always be remembered as one of the greatest strikers. Yeah, but if we actually fine tune it into who's the top 5, he doesn't enter that conversation. For me.
Do you think because he didn't play? Do you think because his country didn't really compete internationally as well?
Because Lewandowski, Poland ain't competing.
Look at African
Simple
players,
question.
that Eto'o, for example, his team.
Fair enough.
But I look at him and I think every time he left the club, they went on to be successful. When he left Barca, they went on to go and dominate. AC Milan, they went on to go and. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
United, no.
United, well, that's the.
Do you know what I remember playing against him? And I remember anyone that played like the old what was it? Was it Pez?
Revolution, yeah.
And I lined up against Inter, and the forward line was Zlatan and Adriano.
Oh. Do you know how much shot power that is?
Bruv, I was sitting there before the game.
How much shot power
I couldn't even eat my pre-match. I was nervous, like the strength on show, the pace on show, the skill, the touch, the shot power. It didn't materialise for them. We played well. We did all right against them. But that was one of the only times I played against Zlatan. He didn't really do anything in that game. But it was just an off day for him. So it's hard for me to judge him. I'm judging these players and how I played against them, how they played against me.
Yeah.
But Zlatan has to be up there, man.
No, defo. He's.
So who are you picking then? I'm going Benzema.
Yeah, same man. I'm going Karim. And that's not to say anyone there isn't levels, but for me,
there's nothing between them.
Suarez. For me, he is probably the best striker of this generation. He's a madman.
Can't argue.
He's a madman. I'm not going to say I'm always happy with his character and stuff like that, but in terms of out and out wanting to win on the pitch,
he's got bite.
He definitely does. I can't look past him, if I'm honest with you. And I feel like it's hard for him to win a Ballon d'Or because
Messi and Ronaldo.
Messi and Ronaldo. He's played in Messi's team, but when you look at his numbers alone next to Messi, you know, like, I don't know, man. I just think he's the best, man. He really, really is the best.
I think of Suarez in Klopp's team. They win everything. They win everything.
Absolute problem.
They win everything.
Absolute problem. But before we go, tomorrow we're doing a transfer deadline day show, aren't we? We're trying to get a few guests on, etc. online. So that's going to be wicked. There's a few big moves that are on the horizon. Caicedo to Arsenal.
I know. They're up in their bid. Started at 55 million. Now they're up to 70 odd.
No, they rejected the 70 mil this morning.
Wow.
Is he that good? Is he what you need?
I think he's a really good player. I would take him, honestly.
For 70 mil? For 80 mil, it's going to cost you 80.
At this moment,
El Nene injured. Partey, you never know, injury around the corner.
I would. And not just that, he's 21 years old, Rio. And the guy has got strength in the middle of the field. He grabs the ball. His acceleration is brilliant. He's not afraid of
You ain't watched him like that. Stop lying.
Bro, I'm being dead serious.
Acceleration is serious.
See that man there,
No, honestly.
Arsenal fans go that way.
In my head, I've seen him play and I'm like, no, he's a decent player, but I've never. No, as in like for Brighton, because
I never saw it 70 million, 80 million.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah, but who's paying? Come on,
Casemiro 70 million.
Yeah, but he was on the decline, innit? They were trying to get him off the books.
He's on the
I'm
just saying.
They thought he was finished.
Not decline.
Not me.
You don't want to get slapped up in the comments again.
I'm just saying.
Bro, the only reason why they sold him was because of Tuchemi and Camavinga, bro.
Listen, if you're that good, they ain't selling you. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, cool.
So as far as I'm, I don't know. I would take him because I feel like players like that.
I think it'd be a good signing.
Yeah, players like that, they're the difference. They can push you
100%.
at the edge. You know what I mean?
Enzo Fernández to Chelsea,
mate. They're trying to go 120 million.
Yeah, but he's incredible though.
Wicked player.
At the World Cup, I saw him live play, and I'm telling you, bro, he's got it. And in the midfield, I think that's what they're missing. They're missing that explosiveness. Like I think the last player they had that was probably Lamps, bro, for Chelsea. That was great, turning off players, shooting, adding goals to your game as well.
But you know what it's like sometimes though. You perform that well during the World Cup.
No, he's got it. He's a good player. Like, I'll be surprised if he comes in and it ain't a success. I think he's a top player. He was the best young player in the tournament. I thought at the World Cup. He was him. Yeah.
Did he win it?
He won the World Cup. He was.
I mean, did he win the best?
Yeah, he won it. He was integral for them. I thought he was brilliant. His passing, his composure for a young kid at that level was a joke, and I think that he won't be phased coming if he's done it with the World Cup the way he did. Played at Benfica, a big club in that country.
Yeah,
demands in that club. He's used to pressure.
Yeah.
So I think the money's irrelevant if you look at it like that and say, you know what, this kid, he could be here for the next 5-6 years.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? So he'd be, I think, Chelsea are on a mad one this window.
Where is financial fair play?
They're looking to fix everything in one window.
Where is financial fair play?
But apparently, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they've done something in which where it's...
if it's after a 7-year contract.
Yeah, but I think they've stopped it now.
The loophole is a loophole.
Yeah, they've stopped it.
We need to get Ornstein on to secure and talk about that because he knows the detail.
He's coming on this week, by the way. David Ornstein is coming on 5 this week, so we're going to
you went Harry Pinero, Andy Cole, and right, you're doing your thing, man.
Good company, man.
But it's going a bit down now.
But you know, this one, I want to talk about Balogun for a minute from Arsenal.
Season.
Yeah.
Listen, man, just to clarify, last week, Rio, you're like, you got to apologise to Eddie and Nketiah because you didn't believe. Listen, I told you, it was tight. You know, it was tight. And also, I feel like if you look at Balogun, I potentially thought that he had more. I thought he had more potential than Eddie Nketiah. The guy is a bad boy.
Do you think he's better than Nketiah now? If he's going to say now, fast forward 5 years, who is at Arsenal still banging in goals, Nketiah or Balogun?
Nketiah. I think Nketiah always had.
Quick.
No, wait. I thought Nketiah always had
the wind.
I thought Nketiah always had the potential because he's a goal scorer, and there's nothing better than a man that scores goals.
Balogun scored all of his youth team's career.
Yeah, but Nketiah's record is different, gravy.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
So, good.
But it's a great problem to have because right now I'm looking at how good our strikers are, and I'm thinking, right, when you got him, Jesus, and Nketiah, do we really need to go out there and buy another striker?
I think one thing it does, he's going to come back and he's going to get a chance.
Yeah.
Definitely. But one thing it does do for young players, and any young players watching, so people that are connected to young players, it shows you that not every single move or loan works out. This kid went to Middlesbrough last season.
Yeah.
More or less got sent back because he weren't producing. Didn't hit the ground running, didn't score many goals, didn't score enough goals. People then start questioning, is he really going to be the guy we think he's going to be? Got a good, nice contract at Arsenal. Goes out on loan again to another country, shows character. You need that.
20 appearances, 12 goals, 11 in Ligue 1.
2 behind Mbappe.
Wow. Scored.
And I think he's in the Golden Boy list as well now, right now, isn't it? And just to think that that's a player, like you said, Rio, that was
12 months ago.
People probably looking at him like, yeah, he's not the player that we thought he was going to be. But I would always look back at his, like somehow he would end up on my Instagram, and I would see that he's scored, and he's very confident. He'll be just like, his captions will be, he's scored like 3 goals. So I think he knew that this is what he needed, didn't it? And for me, yeah, he's doing really well, and there's been a lot of hype about him, and it's shown there's a reason why. So yeah, good player, man.
Arsenal, we're doing all right in the youth,
can't lie, you lot have got
system. You know what I mean?
Another one of your boys scored the other day in the FA Cup for Blackpool. Patino.
Listen,
he scored as well.
It's funny because I spoke to him this weekend actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I just said, listen, keep it going, man. Like really humble. They got a chant for him and everything, man. Like really, really
he's
solid
done
player.
well at Blackpool.
Done well, man.
Done really well.
Done well, man. He deserves a chance as well. But it's just to be in and around the team to get the experience. You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy at the moment, but just to be in and around that presence, man, you can only improve, man. So I'm happy. But Mr. HP like the sauce, Harry Pinero, thank you very much for coming in today.
Do you know what? My kids are going to think I'm actually quite cool now.
You know what I mean?
I spoke to your kids though. I was at Stormzy's concert, and I had to say, do you know who your dad was? No, as in like, sorry. But he's moved on to, but do you know like who your dad was? And I had to let them know like it's now time for you to build your own legacy, and I think that's what they're doing right now as well. Because it's like, you can't be Rio Ferdinand, bro.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be Rio Ferdinand, just his son.
Yeah.
You want to be, oh wow, I didn't know he was Rio. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You want it to be that, innit? So shout out to the boys, man.
No,
any season ticket, shout me.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching this week's episode of Vibe with 5. Joel Bayer, my guy Harry Pinero, Rio Ferdinand. It's been a good one, and we will be back this week. Busy, loads of content. And yeah, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're out. Peace.